Welcome to the 2023 edition of autoX Awards. Now this year marks our 17th anniversary. And of course, as always, we are going to celebrate it with a bang. And as a result, we have got some hot new metal to test for our Best of 2023 awards. So what you see behind me are 13 all new bikes and a scooter, which we are going to be testing at the ICAT test track facility. So let's get going and take a look at all the bikes and scooter that we have got here, and let's find out if we can make out which one is going to win the award. Let's take a close look at what all is available for us to test today. Now let's start with the smallest bike or two-wheeler or scooter that we have got here. So this is the Hero Zoom. Of course, it looks very trendy, very stylish, and I think it is a great scooter. But let's find out if it has more to offer other than sharp creases and this alienish headlamp. Of course, it's a great scooter, but we'll find out more in a few minutes' time. Now, next up, we have got the Honda Shine. Now, this is a 100cc honest-to-God motorcycle. Honda launched it earlier this year. It is again a very bare basic motorcycle, but again, there's nothing wrong with it. So let's see how it fares in this test. Now, next up, there is an interesting motorcycle. This is the Charisma, which is making a comeback, and it's called the XMR. Of course, it looks fantastic. It has got a great engine as well, but compared to all the other rivals here, how does it fare? Well, we are going to ride it around this test track. So let's find out if this Charisma is as sporty as it looks. Then we have got the Triumph Speed 400. Now this, I think, is the biggest launch of the year, because with this motorcycle, well, they have completely changed the market for entry-level 300, 400cc motorcycles, because at the price that it's launched at, well, I think it is very tempting, and it is a great motorcycle, of course. But again, the question remains, is it the best launch of the year? Is it as good as it's cracked up to be? Well, today is the day when we'll find that out. So this is a motorcycle that I think will make it to the top or near the top, because I have high hopes from this motorcycle. Now, next up, you've got its rival. This is the Harley-Davidson X440. Now, again, a very interesting motorcycle. This is Harley's first entry-level single-cylinder motorcycle that has been launched in India. It's made in partnership with Hero, but this motorcycle, it feels Harley in every way. Small miniature Harley, you can call that. But again, we have to see where it fits in the market, because there are so many rivals now, in the sense the Speed 400 is there, and then there is Royal Enfield as well. But this motorcycle, I think it is quite unique, and it has got that Harley badge, which is going to work in its favor. Plus, it's also priced really well. Now, next up, we have got another interesting motorcycle. Now, this is the TVS Apache RTR 310. Of course, a very familiar package. We have seen this platform being used multiple times. We've got the Apache RR 310, we've got the BMW G310s. So this, you'll think that this is a motorcycle that has the same recipe, but that's not the case, because it offers a lot more. It has a lot more features. You've got cooled seats. Its engine performance is totally different. The way this engine is tuned, it is a bit of a hooligan, but again, in terms of pricing, in terms of where it's positioned on the market, it also has many rivals which can give it a run for its money. And one of those rivals is, of course, the KTM 390 Duke. Now, this motorcycle is a complete new generation. It has got a bigger engine than before. That means it's more powerful. It has got a lot of electronics as well. And this is a complete package for sure. Of course, the prices have gone up, so we have to see if the price is justified here or not. But I think if you talk about a complete package, like I said, the KTM does everything. And now it also looks like a bigger bike, so it has got that presence as well. But what we've got here is something totally different. Now, this may look like another Street Naked, but the fact of the matter is, it's not an ICE engine, in the sense it's not powered by petrol. This is all electric motorcycle, and this is the first time that we are going to be riding a performance electric vehicle. So again, I have got high hopes from this motorcycle, because it's going to compete against the likes of the KTM 390 Duke or the TVS Apache RTR 310, but this is electric. So how does it feel compared to an old school, I'm calling it old school, I'm sorry, but compared to a traditional motorcycle? So this is a very interesting proposition. Let's see if it can match legacy automakers in terms of what it brings to the table. Next up, we have got Super Meteor 650. Again, a very interesting motorcycle, a completely new take. The quality levels on this motorcycle are brilliant. Of course, the engine and platform is more or less the same as the Continental GT 650 or the Interceptor that we've already seen. But this motorcycle for Royal Enfield, I think it takes the game forward, because in every dimension, in terms of quality, in terms of fit and finish, in terms of refinement, I think this is a great motorcycle. Of course, it has its flaws and we'll talk about them in detail later. But I think as a cruiser, as a super cruiser, at that price point, I think it is a great motorcycle. Now let's move to big bikes, and we've got some really amazing motorcycles with us. First of all is the Ducati Monster SP. It looks like the same Monster that we featured earlier, but in essence, this is a totally different motorcycle. Everything on this motorcycle has been completely changed apart from the engine and the chassis. But it has got all new Olin suspension, it has got more electronics, it is beefier than your regular Monster, and it is very aggressive, and it feels purpose built for the racetrack or for someone who wants to push their motorcycles, take them on a track day. So it feels completely different to a standard Monster. I think this is the biggest difference between a standard Monster and the SV, because that SP thing, it definitely brings that Ducati formula for speed, for performance, for handling. And I think this marks a huge difference compared to the regular Monster. So I'm really looking forward to push this motorcycle on a racetrack and see how different is it compared to your regular Monster, or is it all on paper. The other motorcycle that we have got here in terms of performance, well, it's the S1000RR. It is the big daddy of liter class motorcycles, and I think in this new iteration it looks absolutely menacing. These wings over here, it has got all the downforce, it has got the best electronics that you can find on a liter class motorcycle, and this is a BMW S1000RR. It's a sweet handling motorcycle, and I think there's nothing really wrong with it, to be very frank, apart from the price probably. But again, we have to test it because we have got one award for Performance Bike of the Year. So whichever bike laps the circuit in the shortest time, that wins the Performance Bike of the Year. It's straightforward. And I think the S1000RR is going to shine in this department, because in terms of power and performance, it's 200 bhp plus. It is going to absolutely nail that. I'm thinking it's a wild guess and a straightforward guess. I think this is going to back the Performance Bike of the Year unless something happens. But again, we have got another great motorcycle. It is the all-new Ducati Diavel V4. Now this time, Diavel, it used to be a power cruiser earlier. It had an L-twin engine, but now with this all-new engine, Ducati has completely changed that formula. They've completely changed the dimension. They've completely changed the definition of power cruising, because this one, it has got a superbike chassis, it has got a superbike engine, it comes with the V4 engine now, as the name suggests, and if you ride it around, you'll notice that it feels very agile, it feels very light, it doesn't feel like a cruiser. So again, they have completely redefined the segment, and I'm looking forward to ride this motorcycle on the track as well, because the last time we rode the Diavel, the 1261, I think it felt a little cumbersome, but this, when I rode it around today, around the track, I thought it was very nimble, and I think it's also very refined. So again, it has a high price tag, but what it brings to the table, well, of course, it's unmatched by any other cruiser or power cruiser in that segment. Now, last but not least, we've got another Ducati, and I think this is the most fun motorcycle here, because this is the Ducati Desert X. Now, this was launched late last year. It qualifies for our awards this year, but what a fun looking motorcycle. You just have to look at it once and you realize that it is going to be fun everywhere. You just have to look at this motorcycle, look at these knobby tires, look at the suspension travel, look at that face of this motorcycle. It looks like it's meant for just one thing, that is fun. And I also think it has got a lot of X factor because of that paint scheme, because of the Ducati badge, and because the way it looks. So I think as a fun motorcycle, it has got a lot to offer. Plus that engine also has a lot more character. It is suited for off-road riding. It is very snappy. But again, we have to put it to test today thoroughly to see if it can be one of the best of 2023 award winners. So this is the lineup that we have got here. We are going to be testing all of these bikes at the test track today. So 3 bikes are going to be winning the award, which is Best of 2023. So these are the top 3 bikes, and of course, like I said earlier, there is going to be one award for the Performance Bike of the Year. So all of that is coming to you very soon, because we are going to be riding and testing these motorcycles. So stay tuned to AutoX to watch the complete jury round, which is headed your way very, very soon.